You ever have like a really, really good hot dog and then you realize that that's probably the best hot dog you will ever have for the rest of your life, and no hot dog will ever top that? And then you get sad. So it's a weird revelation to have, and I had that today. So it wasn't fun, I'll tell you that. Um, so I guess I should probably do the intro to this. Um, what's poppin', party people? It's your boy, Tasty Pancake, coming at you from the dungeon of a 55-year-old man. And again, I have no plan for this video at all, except that it needs to be an hour long, and I am really, really lost on all ideas. My voice isn't even that good today, so I'm pretty sure it's not as relaxing. And I say that like if the last video I did was relaxing. I was listening to the audio for that, and oh my god, I'm really sorry for the ear rape. Um, I'm not gonna fix it though. I can't. There's no way. I have to be this close to the microphone. Maybe if I edit the volume a little bit. Is that good? Yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting into the danger levels. Maybe if I lower it even more. Is it good? Yeah, okay. I can talk normally now. Well, not normally, but yeah, I can. Yeah, it's not as ear rapey. I really hope it sounds good. All right, we're 2 minutes in, and let's see what should we talk about? Um. Oh yeah, so my cousin texted me yesterday, and he asked me what my top 3 favorite movies were. And this is a very interesting question, because I have very weird movie taste. Like, the to the point where it pisses people off. Cause I hate movies that are considered good, and I love movies that are considered bad, but like unironically, Like yeah, I'll admit that one movie is like technically better, but I still don't like that movie. Like, for example, I don't like The Dark Knight. I don't. I I understand that it is in fact a good movie, and that like it's probably the best Batman movie we will ever have. And on top of that, like, it's just like the Joker is just amazing and stuff, but I always thought The Dark Knight Rises was way better. And well, not always. I didn't always think that. I followed the bandwagon a lot, but I rewatched The Dark Knight Rises like a month ago, and I had a realization that it's a better Batman movie, to be honest. Because if you watch, um like, oh man, if I'm trying to decide which movie to pick on first. Let's so Batman Begins. Yeah, let's start off with Batman Begins. So if you watch that, it's relatively good. It beats it beats Batman and Robin by like a milestone. And um it's but it's fairly standard, to be honest. Like, it doesn't have too much going on. Like, the Scarecrow is a weak villain. I mean, he's my favorite comic book villain besides Bane, which explains why I like The Dark Knight Rises. But the Scarecrow is very pathetic, and he doesn't really pose that big of a threat to Batman. And Ra's al Ghul isn't even in the movie until um like the last 15 minutes, maybe. So Batman doesn't really have anything to fight, and he's not really being Batman. It's mostly just about Bruce Wayne and taking down the mob, I guess. But it's a fairly standard movie. Like it's not forgettable. It's definitely not forgettable, and it's really really good. But if you compare it to like The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises, it isn't really that epic in scale, and it's kind of just there. It pales in comparison to both movies, and it's kind of like the average Joe of the trilogy. And yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about it. It's got some good moments. I like the Scarecrow, like whenever he's terrorizing people, and he definitely has some good one-liners, like when he lights Batman on fire, and he's like, "You need to lighten up," and 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 he sprays him with the gas and stuff. Like, that's cool, and I'm glad that the Scarecrow like is in all three movies because he's a cool villain, and his cameos are pretty funny or just entertaining to watch. Not funny, but all right. So The Dark Knight. Everybody says that The Dark Knight is like the best movie of all time, and or well, maybe not the best movie of all time, but a lot of people claim to be. They claim that it's like the best Batman movie by far, and that it's amazing, and that it's not just a great comic book movie, it's like a great film and all that stuff. And I do have to say, it definitely has less problems than The Dark Knight Rises, like on a technical. Excuse me. Oh man, I'm continuing the tradition, and I'm eating right before I do the podcast or whatever this is. Apparently, it's a podcast, but yeah. So it's definitely got less problems, and it's definitely like a better movie. But outside of the Joker, it's basically Batman Begins. It's the same movie, in the sense of like it's Batman being Batman, and he's just running around, and I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying, to be honest. It's because the Joker is like such a big part of the Dark Knight, but I feel like outside of because the Joker just kind of steals all the performances, and I'm not attacking the Joker. He is by far the best Batman villain, and like he's just on a whole other level. Like there was no way that Tom Hardy's Bane was ever gonna top him. Like there was no that because he's ascended, right? Like he's just perfect, and he became the Joker, and like not even um Jaquan Phoenix, is that what you call it? Joaquin? Was it Joaquin Phoenix? Jaquan. No, Joaquin Phoenix like wouldn't be able to top him, so that's why he went for a different take on the Joker. Like this, Heath Ledger's Joker is just perfect, and I think that's the main part. Like that's what makes the Dark Knight the best, because outside of the Joker, everything about The Dark Knight is the same as Batman Begins. It tackles the moral issue of Batman and Bruce Wayne's psyche, and it's kind of hard to judge a movie without the Joker because the Joker is like basically in every scene, and everything is about the Joker, you know. So like with Batman Begins, and hell, even with The Dark Knight Rises a little bit, it's more about Bruce Wayne. It's more about his journey and him learning to be a better man and stuff like that. But you don't really get too much of that in The Dark Knight. He doesn't really have that strong of an arc. He just kind of learns that criminals aren't really complicated and makes a completely unnecessary sacrifice. Because I'm gonna get into this like in a little bit, but that sacrifice at the end where he takes the fall for all the people that Harvey Dent killed, it wasn't necessary, like at all. So basically the whole movie is about stopping the Joker. It's like it's two different movies, and one half is better than the other half. So the first half of the movie is like right before the Joker like takes control. So it ends around I'm trying to like I can't really remember the movie that well. Um I believe it ends like when they capture Lau. I believe that's his name. The accountant for the mob. Um like that's the first half of the movie is about stopping the mob, and sure there's like a little bit of the Joker sprinkled in, but he's not really in it that much, and like nobody really cares about him, and nobody's doing anything. Like he just kind of robs a bank, and they're like, okay, but we got to deal with the mob first. Like they even say it in the movie. Batman goes, he goes, one man or the entire mob, and and like so the whole first part of the movie is trying to stop the mob, and I think right after they get Lau, and the mob decides to like give Joker the money or whatever, like just enlist Joker, I guess. So when Gambit dies, I think when Gambit dies, that's what marks the beginning of like the Joker. So, or of the Joker's half of the movie, where he's the main villain and he's going around terrorizing Gotham, and it becomes a completely different movie because the first half was about Batman just kind of going through the motions and just kind of tying stuff up from the first movie and like just showing you what's going on, and it's not that fun to watch, to be honest. It's basically just Batman Begins. It's the same general plot, same kind of like feel. It's not really that fun. And then it only gets good when the Joker shows up. And that's because the Joker just destroys everything that the first half of the movie like built up. He just hijacks the movie and it becomes a completely different thing, to the point where they're all like just desperate to fight the Joker and stuff, and like just get rid of him because he's gonna kill a lot of people. And I definitely like the like the moral dilemma and stuff, where they're like saying, "Are well, are humans innately bad, or are they innately good?" Or it's order versus chaos and all that crap that you've heard from like 50 different YouTubers. And honestly, I think a lot of people are kind of blowing things out of proportion. Um, like it it's not that great, to be honest. It's kind of standard, especially now. The movie's kind of gotten stale for me because everybody talks about it. Everybody and their mom has something to say about it, and it's always the universal. It's always a universal. Well, it's the best movie ever. Like people just shill out for this movie, and it's really irritating because it kind of like blocks out, or not blocks out, it kind of like overshadows all the other movies. And I just feel like it's been 12 years, just kind of shut up about The Dark Knight. And I don't really want to just I don't really know how to explain it, because I didn't plan out this rant at all. But basically, I just like it's gotten so stale that you don't like rewatching the movie isn't that fun because you know everything that's gonna happen. So you don't really like you don't feel invested anymore. You don't really want to watch it anymore because like you've essentially watched it 50 times, and that it's just not. There's only so much you can do, and then on top of that, it's not a Batman movie. It is not a Batman movie, and it's because it's not about Batman. It's about Harvey Dent. And although that's not really a problem, I feel like if it's it's supposed to be about Batman. Granted, they do a good job talking, like focusing on Dent, but I felt like they were they kind of brought things up way too quickly. Like he's only been Batman for 2 years, apparently, or something like that. And they're already talking about Batman not being able to be Batman forever, and Batman's getting old, and he wants to find someone, and this Batman thing isn't gonna work out for forever, and oh, we need Harvey Dent because he's a better alternative. And I felt like they kind of, like, it is best summarized in that dinner scene, where Bruce Wayne and Rachel and Harvey are all eating dinner, with that like Russian ballet girl or whatever. They're sitting there talking about Batman, and it's like Harvey says that, like, Batman, he can't do this forever, so he's looking for someone to take up his mantle. And then it kind of shows Bruce like thinking about it, and he's like, oh yeah, I definitely need someone to replace me, but I don't really know. I don't feel like I felt like it's too quick, like I felt like that would have been something that they would have been dealing with in movie 3 and not movie 2, because he literally just became Batman like a movie ago, you know and we've barely just started to see him. It's they're acting like if he's like some 30-year-old man, or not 30, sorry, he's like a 50-year-old man, and he's like already lost his step and he can't do it forever. And they do it better in The Dark Knight Rises, to be honest, because there's like an 8-year time gap. Excuse me. There's like an 8-year time jump, and they kind of show Bruce Wayne 8 years later, and it makes sense that he's old because it's been 8 years. So there's a difference between when you're 30 and when you're 40. So I don't know. I felt like the whole focusing on Harvey Dent thing wasn't really. Eh. And to be honest, you could kind of, with a little bit of tweaking, you could just kind of cut out the Dark Knight. Like, you just cut out the Dark Knight, and you would have a perfectly fine duology with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. Like, The Dark Knight doesn't really fit in that well. It doesn't fit. It just kind of, like, if you could edit it a little bit, or add some stuff to Batman Begins or whatever, maybe Ra's al Ghul or whatever does something, and Batman has to go into hiding. You could get the exact same effect in The Dark Knight, like The Dark Knight Rises. You don't really need The Dark Knight. It's kind of just its own thing, and it works better as a standalone movie than it does as the second part of a trilogy. And that's because it's just not about Batman. It never was. It's about Harvey Dent and dicking around the city and becoming evil. And I don't really know how I feel about it because it doesn't get into Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne's the most interesting character. And I feel like they kind of just lost focus of the main character, And The Dark Knight Rises, because now I'm gonna transition to The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises does like a better job of doing this, It it brings back focus to Bruce Wayne. And so Batman Begins is the fall of, or no, not, what the hell. Batman Begins is the rise of Batman. And so The Dark Knight Rises is about the fall of Batman. And I think they work perfectly side by side, because you see Batman 8 years after. Oh wait, no, I can't go. I can't get into The Dark Knight Rises because I haven't talked about the ending to The Dark Knight that I hated. Um, the whole sacrificing himself, or, well, not sacrificing himself, but just taking the fall for all of Harvey's murders and pretending like Batman killed those people was stupid. Like, and the idea was good, but that's it's kind of dumb, because he didn't need to do that, like, at all. And if anything, that was the selfish reason for Bruce Wayne to do that, because they could have all easily said, well, I mean, the Joker and his goons killed those cops, and because the Joker's out there fucking killing people, and nobody knows what the Joker's doing. Nobody knows what his plan is. Nobody knows what's going on in his head, so they could just pawn it off as, well, the murdering psychopath went and killed 5 more people. What difference would it have made? No, they and then it's if anything, it's selfish because they could Harvey Dent still would have died a martyr. They could have just been like, well, the Joker killed Harvey Dent. Then and it would have made perfect sense because he wanted to blow up Gotham General, and that was the hospital that Harvey Dent was in. So it's like already like Harvey like the Joker wants Harvey Dent dead. So then after, like Batman, that's the worst time for Batman to go into hiding because the mob is still out there. Granted, they're broke, but there's still crime. And now that there's no DA that's brave enough to prosecute, so and now that there's no DA, like Batman needs to be there to ensure that everything's in order, And I felt like they could have just they could have added a couple of lines or something to explain why Batman just so desperately wanted to quit. You know, it it's kind of it's kind of irritating, and but the Dark Knight Rises does do like definitely a way better job of kind of just like focusing on Batman and his psyche and what he's up to or what he's feeling, and it's really cool because it shows that Batman didn't want to hang up his cape and cowl or whatever that line was that he hung up his cape and cowl but he never moved on. I think is what Michael Caine says. He's um yeah he's so if anything that kind of adds to my point because it's clear that Christopher Nolan wanted it to be or that it was a noble sacrifice, but Batman didn't want to give it up. So, if anything, that's even more of a reason why he shouldn't have taken the fall for Harvey Dent. He doesn't want to quit being Batman. He needs to be Batman. Like he needs Batman, and Gotham still needs Batman. I mean, it's pretty fucking clear because there's a third movie, and Bane is out there killing people. I mean, like hell, even before Bane's takeover, like there's still crime in the city. So like Batman needs to be out there protecting people. And you can say, well, I mean, because he's a vigilante, they can't have Batman around. When has Batman ever cared about that? Bruce Wayne has never cared about any of that. He's Batman just because he wants to be Batman. And I don't know, I feel like just that the Dark Knight Rises just helps prove how worthless that twist was. And so let me just I know the Joker is like on a whole other level and stuff, but we need to give props to Tom Hardy's Bane. And people always like make fun of the way he sounds and stuff, but I think it's actually really fun. Like even better than the Joker voice because it's just so fun to just like be like the fire rises like like I really love him. He's such a good villain because he challenges Batman not only mentally but physically. So the Scarecrow was arguably like the weakest villain because he doesn't really like challenge the Batman in any way. He just kind of uses fear a little bit, but then Batman just like injects himself with a shot, and it's all like, and he's immortal to it, or not immortal. He's immune to it. Sorry, he's immune to the fear toxin, and that's kind of that. And like, and the Joker, yeah, he challenges Batman on like a philosophical level and like and a mental level, but he never really breaks Batman. Like he kills Rachel, but it doesn't really rip into Bruce Wayne, or it doesn't really elicit the same response that Bane does, because like honestly, it the Joker doesn't do much to Batman. He just kind of mildly irritates Batman, and then they like deal with them, and he just gets put away, and then they're kind of like, oh, well, I mean, he killed Harvey Dent, so that kind of sucks. And you can say, well, yeah, he made him go into hiding for 8 years, but like, I felt like you could have just accomplished that without the Joker. And it's like the damage that the Joker causes to Batman is mostly off screen, to be honest, and it just kind of it's just not done well. And this is my that's my argument. It's just not done well. You gotta trust me on this, okay? You gotta. My opinion is fact. um, but no, so I like how Bane challenges Batman, but like not only like on a mental level but like on a physical level too, because we always knew that Batman was going to kick the shit out of the Joker, and like the only reason why it didn't matter was because the Joker just doesn't care. So if like he could punch him and it just doesn't matter. But it always made it feel like the Joker was just always like he doesn't really challenge Batman, and on top of that, like there's no good like it's not really it's just not it's he just kind of challenges Batman on a morality level, and to be honest, like he's just super easy to disprove. You could just fucking ignore the Joker, and then he would just like it just not nothing would happen, and it you could it's just I didn't feel like the Joker challenged Batman as well as Bane did, you know. Like yeah, Bane is a little bit less entertaining to watch, and that's because like Heath Ledger just had so much fun being the Joker, and he's really good at it. But I like how Bane kicks the crap out of Batman. Like he truly makes Batman look like a stupid idiot wearing a costume, which is what the Joker was trying to do. The Joker was always trying to make Batman just be like, "Oh, well, you're a freaking crazy person running around in a suit, dressed as an animal, just beating the crap out of criminals every night." Like, but he never really shows it because Batman was always more imposing and scarier than the Joker, or maybe not scarier, but he's definitely more of like he was just more I guess threatening than I don't know what the right word is. He's more imposing, and he's physically powerful compared to the Joker and stuff. So he's more commanding and more like like in control, even though technically it's the Joker that's in control, but the Joker just acts unhinged like all the time. And so when he's trying to like get Batman to realize that he's just oh you're just a crazy person, it doesn't really fit. But when Bane like kicks the shit out of Batman, like it's not even a fair fight. He really makes Batman look small. Like he makes Batman look like just a dumb kid wearing a costume, trying to fight like a bodybuilder, and Bane is just terrifying. And like for once when you're watching it and you're watching him go up against Bane, you don't know who's gonna win, because it's like halfway through the movie and it looks like it's gonna be a climactic battle, but it's only halfway through, so you don't know like is Bane gonna win? But then no, then Batman gets some like good licks in, and you think oh he's kicking the crap out of Bane, like it's gonna be a fair fight after all, and then Bane just turns around and just starts wailing on him, and to the point where like Batman has to hide, and then he tries to use the shadows, to like to trick Bane like he tricks everyone else. I think, including the Joker, he does using darkness or whatever. Yeah, like in the interrogation scene, he's like hiding behind the Joker, and he doesn't really like realize it to like right before, or maybe he does. I don't know. But like Bane just fucking just rips him out of the darkness and just starts beating him up even more, and he breaks his back, and he also breaks Batman's spirit like finally, because even after the Joker made him quit for 8 years, he never broke Batman's spirit because he still wants to be Batman. He just feels like he can't because one, his knees don't work, and he thinks that the city doesn't need him, right? So like it's more of like a like accidental, and the Joker doesn't do too much damage to Bane or to Batman. But like when Bane just ends Bruce Wayne, like he's just lost his will to live, and he just like wants to die, or maybe not wants to die, but he's basically just given up, and he's like surrendered to his fear of like dying alone in that pit, watching his city burn. And like technically, like technically the Joker wins, right? But Bane actually wins. Like the Joker just kind of wins because he makes he makes Harvey Dent evil, or I guess he doesn't really win. He just kind of, like, if you really think about it, the Joker wins, but he's in prison, and nobody's gonna remember him. So he's just gonna be the crazy guy who killed people and then tried to take over the city and just never did because Batman stopped him. But with Bane, he actually wins. Like there was a, like, had Bruce Wayne not got climbed out of that pit, that the Gotham City would just be destroyed. And there was like it's inches away, because like the way the movie ends is like they can't defuse the bomb, so then they just like fly it out of the city. And so that was like they barely, just by the skin of their teeth, won. So if you think about it, like Bane could have just easily, like Bane basically won, and he only lost like because the bad guy can't win, you know. I just feel like Bane is a better villain overall, and he challenges Batman in ways that, like, no other villain really did, and he really makes, like, Batman, like, when Batman returns, where like halfway through the movie, not halfway through the movie, but like when you get to the third act, and when Batman comes back from the pit, like you get, like, I got chills, when Batman climbed out of the pit, and or when he went in, freaking, damn it, I can't think, sorry, um when he like climbed out of the pit, or like when he came back and he just started fighting all those criminals while Gordon was walking on the ice. Like, that was amazing. That was just like, oh, like it makes you feel good. And The Dark Knight never did that. The Dark Knight kind of just felt like it was the Joker's movie, and Batman was kind of just along for the ride, you know. But it but The Dark Knight Rises, it's truly Batman rising up against the challenges, in the face of adversity. He pulls himself out of it because he's the fucking Batman, and he just wins. And it just feels so good. And he never got that because, since the Joker was always in charge, it didn't matter what anybody did, because the Joker was always like 15 steps ahead of you. So nothing felt satisfying, because it's like, well, yay, they technically like arrested the Joker, but like, what's gonna happen now? Because this is clearly part of Joker's plan. Like, there's never that like, moment. Like, even when they capture the Joker for like the final time, he's won, because he his whole plan all along was to turn Harvey Dent. So it's like, I mean, you leave the theater just feeling bad, you know because Batman is gone, and like you just be like, oh damn, like. But The Dark Knight Rises makes you feel really good and really happy when you leave the theater, when you turn off the TV, and you finish a movie. So it's just a more enjoyable experience. And I felt more engaged with the movie than with The Dark Knight. And that kind of just concludes my rant. I liked the Robin hint, but I didn't like that his first name was Robin. Like, I don't know why they made his first name Robin. Like, they could have just named him Dick, and then he would have been Dick Grayson, and then he would have like walked into the Batcave, and then like, that's it. I don't know why his first name was Robin. That was kind of stupid, but it's kind of just a little nitpick, you know. It doesn't really matter because they're never going to make a Robin movie, or Christopher Nolan's never going to make a Robin movie. So I think he even went out and said that he wouldn't. But yeah, so that is my rant on The Dark Knight. And I was going to talk about why Spider-Man 3 is the best Spider-Man movie, but I kind of don't want to bore everybody with my really stupid opinions. So maybe I'll talk about it next time. Don't worry, I'll do it eventually. Like, I can't like I can't shut up about how good Spider-Man 3 is. Spider-Man 3 is just amazing. And of course it's terrible, but like it's definitely the worst. Not the worst. Part 1 was pretty bad. Um it's not the best, you know. It's definitely not the best Spider-Man movie, but it's my favorite. And yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it eventually, but let's see. What else can we talk about? Um I don't really know. Hmm. Let's see. Oh, so I got I discovered the secret to the perfect grilled cheese. And I've been like eating grilled cheese for like the past 3 weeks, and I haven't shit since like Monday because of how much cheese I've been eating. And yeah, I know that sounds gross, but like it's so the best way to make grilled cheese is you get brioche bread and you butter it, um, and you butter both sides. But right before that, what I usually do is I get like turkey breast, like those the slices of deli meat that you can get like at Walmart. And for me it's two, but like if you're making multiple, then it would be like two per each sandwich, you know. But I throw them on like a pan. Well, it's not really a pan. It's like a flat looking thing where you use it to heat up. You use it to heat up the tortillas. I was gonna do the accent, but I can't. It's too late for me to roll my R's today. So and I don't want to embarrass myself. But yeah, so you just put a tortilla, and it's like a pan for that. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, so I put the deli meat on those, and I kind of heat up that meat till like it's turkey, I guess. So I heat up the turkey until it kind of looks dry almost, and it's got like a little bit of burn, but don't burn it. Don't char your deli meat or your turkey. What do I call it? Deli meat. And and then after that, I butter the brioche bread. Make sure it's brioche bread. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Make sure it's brioche bread because brioche bread is the best bread, and I usually get mine from like the Walmart bakery, but there's probably other places to get brioche bread. What the hell? Sorry, my mic was like really muted, so I kind of got worried. I really hope that it saved a lot of my audio, you know. But so basically, you you butter the the brioche bread, and you throw it on the pan, and that's where I get like cheese. And no, it's sharp cheddar is like the best cheese to use. I used to mix it with Munster cheese, but it's not Munster cheese doesn't really mix well. And to be honest, I prefer the taste with sharp cheddar. So you put sharp cheddar, and I usually do 3 slices, but I've been trying to cut back on my cheese intake, so you like do 2. It's probably the best, to be honest, because yeah, you don't want to back up your digestive system either. But so you put the turkey, you put the turkey meat, and then you put the cheese, and then you put turkey meat on top of that, and then you get the second slice of the brioche bread, and you butter that too on both sides. And you want to do that fast because you don't want to burn the other brioche bread that's like cooking at the bottom. And but that's because I need to make it fast. If I were to like really be making like a good grilled cheese, I'd just like turn off the stove and just like put everything on that pan first, and then when everything like the sandwich itself is ready, then I turn it on, and that's when it starts heating up. So that way I don't like I can watch it and make sure it doesn't burn. And so you keep flipping it, making sure that like neither side burns. But what you want to do before you flip it is to make sure that the bottom side that's cooking is like all the way like cooked to the point where you could technically eat it. It's just not like it's not like fully cooked, you know. It's kind of just like light brown, but like you can't see the butter anymore. And so that's when you flip it, and then you keep doing that over and over and over again. and until like whatever you're desired. I don't know how you eat grilled cheese. So if you like it charred, then like just just leave it on there until it's black, and then that's what you eat it. But yeah, basically that's how you make the best grilled cheese. And then normally I'll get Lay's barbecue chips, which are of course the best flavor of barbecue chips. And then that's what I eat it with. Normally with a Coke, because Coke is my favorite soda, and that I'm not joking. That's true. Yes, I'm a normie, but Coke is just amazing. It's amazing, man. And I'm talking about the drink. I don't do Coke, like the drug. Um, I wish, but no. So basically, you 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 yeah. I mean, there's not too much else to say. It's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, that's how you make the perfect grilled cheese. And um, I guess since we're on the topic of food, my favorite Thanksgiving meal, or not meal, but like Thanksgiving food, and I guess it counts as Christmas too, but it's cranberry sauce. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for liking cranberry sauce, but I mean I do every day. Every time I bring it up, like people just think I'm gross, but I really love cranberry sauce, especially the Ocean Spray jellied cranberry sauce. That's like the best out of all of them. Like I really really like it, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because like as a kid it was treated as like a dessert, and basically, oh sorry, I mean I got distracted for a little bit. Um, basically like the cranberry sauce just melts in your mouth, and then it's like just I love that, like the taste of cranberries just in general, and just the jelly like it, because it's got the consistency of jello. I love it, and it's really like it's cold, and so it refreshes you. Like it's very refreshing for me, and it really helps if like you got like really dry chicken. But I mean you could put gravy on it too, which is the the better. I don't like mixing cranberry sauce with anything else because it doesn't really blend well with anything. But like I've eaten cranberry sauce on its own before. Like I've done that. I one time there was a Tupperware because we had leftover cranberry sauce, and since literally nobody likes cranberry sauce like at all, I get it to myself. And there's a video out there. I might upload it one day. But there's a video my cousin took of me where I'm just eating the cranberry sauce and fake crying because it's like really funny. But but then I like break out laughing in the last 2 seconds of the video. But yeah, the moral of the story is I love cranberry sauce, man. Like I've eaten it straight out of the Tupperware before. I've yet to eat it out of the can, but I haven't had like I haven't been like that hungry yet. Because normally when I eat cranberry sauce, it's when I'm eating something else. And one of my life aspirations is to just rip open a can and just start eating it with a spoon in front of people as they look on in horror. And it's yeah, it's just really funny to me. I don't know why, but I think like I guess I'm talking about my unpopular opinions. I fucking love butter pecan syrup from IHOP. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, IHOP is a regional thing, right? Or it's a national thing, right? I don't know if IHOP's in other countries, but like the best maple syrup is butter pecan, and this is for two reasons. One, because I get to, since nobody likes butter pecan, it's always like you can count on it, because sometimes that happens to you where you like if you go to an IHOP and you like try to get like the blueberry syrup, or like the normal syrup, it's like half empty and there's like a little bit left and you like have to get it refilled, but it's just like kind of a pain. But you can always count on butter pecan being untouched by everybody because nobody likes it, and it's amazing because like you just get the whole thing to yourself and nobody else is like, hey, pass me the syrup, because nobody wants butter pecan, and I don't know why, because it's buttery. It I don't know why, I don't know how they do it, but it tastes buttery, and it tastes essentially, it's the same as the normal maple syrup, but it tastes buttery and kind of lighter because the normal maple syrup is very heavy, and then it kind of like I don't know why, it just feels heavy and thicker, but then you have like buttery pecan and it just kind of feels smooth and nice, and it's got like its own little hint of a flavor, which I don't really know. It's the like, and can never taste the pecan in it, but it's I just feel like it's a better alternative, honestly, because it's the same flavor as the normal one, so it's basically the same, but it's minus all the cons because it's not thick and it's never almost out. So it just goes to show having the unpopular opinion can pay off sometimes. It like I've benefited a lot. I feel like, yeah, it's just the best. It's and then if you get like chocolate chip pancakes, like the chocolate chip ones from IHOP, and then you get buttery pecan syrup, and oh my god, it's amazing. If IHOP is like my favorite restaurant other than Whataburger, and that's because Whataburger is like a fast food chain, so it doesn't really count sometimes. And for people who don't know what Whataburger is, it's a regional thing, so don't sweat it if you don't know what it is. It's like in Texas and like certain parts of like other like the West Coast. It's like a West Coast thing, I guess. I don't really know the extent of how many there are, but essentially Whataburger is basically just McDonald's but like better in every way imaginable, because they give you like huge hamburgers, and and the drinks are huge, because I've noticed that like McDonald's is getting cheap with their drinks, man, like, or at least the location I go to, it's like always just like a finger width off of the top. And it's annoying because it looks like someone already drank out of your drink and they're chipping you of your money, dude. And then you look and the Whataburger drinks are like thicker, like they're way bigger than the McDonald's ones. It's just bigger, like, and it's amazing. And for people who don't like big portions, then it's probably not good, the best for you, because Whataburger's like very big with their portions and stuff. But it's definitely like one of those more bang for your buck things, because the meal will essentially cost the same thing as a McDonald's one, maybe a little more expensive if you get like a specialty order, which I do. But like all in all, you're gonna get more out of it. So if that's what you're looking for, you gotta try Whataburger, man. It's amazing. And my personal recommendation is the Swiss mushroom burger. And it's essentially like sauteed mushrooms and Swiss cheese, but like kind of like in a saucy, like it's like sauce as well. And I don't know. I maybe the sauce isn't the cheese, because I think there's also like actual cheese slices, but it's like so melted that you can't really tell. But there's like a liquid in it, and it makes it taste so good. I don't know what it is, but the burger's huge, and every bite is just amazing. And the bread is like just soft. It's not crappy McDonald's bread where you could like pick off the flakes of the bread because it's just garbage, and it looks like it's been left out for like a day. No, it's just great. It's amazing, and it's just so big, and it's just, oh my god, like I just love it so much. But yeah, that's enough of me shilling out to Whataburger. Um, it's it's just really really good. It's amazing. And let's see, let's see what other things we can talk about. Um, Oh no, that I'm really really sorry. That seems like it's gonna be an ear rapey thing, but I'm probably gonna cut this out because I think I'm gonna edit this video. Um, let's see. What can we talk about? I'm trying to avoid my stupid opinions, but I guess I. Oh, most underrated book series is probably this book series that I got into a couple years ago, and the reason why I bring this up is because I associate it with Whataburger, because I finished the first book while going on a trip to Whataburger with my dad. So yeah, perfect segue. Um, it's called The Unwanteds, and it's really really good. The they have like a quote on there from like a book critic, I guess, and the person says it's Harry Potter meets the Hunger Games, and it could not be more true. So I don't want to spoil anything because, it's like very, it's very like interesting, and they do a lot of twists and stuff, and like a lot of cool things happen. But like if you go in knowing what's going to happen, it kind of ruins it, and that's what happened to me too, because I was looking online for like artwork, and there was, for some reason, there was like there was like a summary of the second book, and I read it by accident, and then it says like just like a really big spoiler that happens in the second book, and it just ruined it, because like I was like, what? No. And then like it and then it happened. So it was annoying because it took away the weight of the situation, or of the event, sorry. But so it's basically about this island. It's called Quill, I believe. Yeah, it's called Quill. And it like it's ruled by this lady who doesn't like, it's, I think her name is like High Priestess Judy or some crap. It's been a while since I've read it. And basically they like they outlaw like artwork, and yeah, just all creativity is outlawed. So there's no music, there's no books, and there's no drawings. There's nothing, right? So it's also extremely poor. It's like this desert. The way I imagined it is like a desert, and it's just devoid of all happiness. And they have like a class system. So it's the wanteds, the necessaries, and the unwanteds, which is the namesake of the book. And essentially the wanteds are like the smart people, the strong people, just like not really the best of the best, because there's some pretty stupid wanteds, but there's like it's just basically people who would serve in the military, or like scholars, and then the necessaries are like the grunt workers. So they'll be like gardening, or like farming, or doing stuff with the water, or manufacturing, I guess. Well, there's not really manufacturing, apparently, I guess, because they're that strict with creativity that apparently they have cars that are like 50 years old, and they're they're running on corn oil, and they're just like horrible, and they have like these pellet guns, because that's all they've made, or like really crappy pellet guns. And a couple like people, because there's these people called the governors, and they're like the just the senior officers, and they're like they're like in a council and stuff, and they have handguns, like real handguns with actual bullets that can kill people, but that's like about it. That's the height of their technology. And they have so basically it's a dystopia. It's a dystopia, right? But I didn't get it into the unwanteds, and now the unwanteds are people who have made who have shown creativity, So if you've like drawn a house in like the mud with a stick, you become an unwanted. And the way they determine what you are is when you're 13 years old. They like list off what everybody's rank is, because like for 13 years you just kind of do whatever. But they kind of like they have like a big meeting, and they're like, all right, you Johnny, you're a wanted, and you're an unwanted. And they like put everybody in like a bus, like all the unwanteds, which is like they're quote unquote artistic people, but they're like some of them, like there's one kid who got sent there just because he like spoke out against someone. So it's basically just everyone, like anybody who shows creativity or just any like free thought. They just send them off on a bus, and they go to like an oil field or something, and they're supposed to like dip them in boiling oil, and it kills them. But the person, like the executioner, he's actually a wizard. and it's he has like an illusion charm or whatever. So instead of killing him, he takes him like into a not a whole other world, because it's technically real. But what happens is that the execution place is like cast under a spell, so it looks like, oh, excuse me, so it looks like a big just pool of boiling oil. But what it actually is it's a second half of the island that's like super green and just full of like magical creatures, and it's just magic, right? It's amazing. And it's got like a big mansion in the middle, and they kind of use magic in like a very creative way. It's like with Harry Potter, like it's like if someone were to take Harry Potter and then just run with the weird crap, you know. So there's like spatial displacement spells that they cast on the mansion, to where the mansion is like, it looks like a certain, it's like the tent from Harry Potter, where it looks like a certain size. But what actually happens is that you can just like make hallways and stuff that are like technically don't exist, but they do. So it's like you could just expand it to be at however big you want it to be, right? And then it's never gonna take up space in the real world. It's really cool. And basically I lost my soothing ASMR voice. So it follows these twin brothers, Alex and Aaron. And Alex is a unwanted, and Aaron is a wanted. And it's like a very apparently it was Alex took the fall for Aaron, because what happened is that Alex and Aaron were like drawing stuff in the dirt, and I think either Aaron turned him in, or yeah, because Aaron's a little bitch. So like he turns in the. Remember I was saying how there was a kid who was like speaking out against him. Aaron turned that kid in, and that's the reason why that kid like was technically gonna die. But basically, like it follows those two brothers, right? And as one brother is like trying to ascend the ranks in Quill, and the other one's learning to be a fucking wizard with like a homeless guy named Mr. Today. And so it's pretty cool because they use like really creative magic, and it's unlocked through like artistic, like just doing art and stuff. Like you can create your own spells. Like that's a thing. Like you create your own spells, and I don't know how they do it because they never really explain it. But like it's like kids, like for example, a kid could like get clay and then mold like a throwing star out of it, and they can make a spell where like if they say a word and they throw the throwing star, it becomes like 5 throwing stars, and it all attacks one person and kills them. Like it's that it's like that's like border, like that's like baseline not creative magic that I just came up with, or maybe it's in the book and I just like subconsciously repeated it. But so yeah, and then basically that keeps going, and there's 7 books, and you'd think, oh well, why are there 7 books? But it's, if you keep reading, you understand why there's 7 books, and it gets really interesting, especially like the final book. It's like, oh my god, like the final book is awesome. And there's like cool villains too. It's not just the high priestess, like other villains show up as the story progresses. And it's just amazing. It's a really creative and really fun book series that nobody's gotten into. And there's even like a sequel series that's called Unwanteds Quests or something like that. And it's like it takes place after, and it follows like the kid of Alex, I think, or was it? I can't remember if it was the kid. Maybe it was. I can't remember. But like they and follows the kids. There's no. It follows their little sisters. That's what it was, because yeah, it just follows like little sisters or whatever, and they're going out doing stuff. And I'd say that's a spoiler, but to be honest, I mean, if you read the synopsis for the Dragon Quest, it basically tells you what's going on. So like you you just keep like you can find it, you can find the whole book collection at Barnes and Noble, but I'd recommend just buying the first book and then seeing if you like it. And if you like it, I definitely recommend that you buy them all. I kind of lost interest in Dragon's Quest, but that's because like I really only cared about one character, and like that character's not really in the sequels, so I just kind of lost interest. I didn't like the direction it took, but that's just like a personal preference, and it probably gets better. But I kind of like swore off reading because I found it really boring. But you know what? Actually, I just had a great idea. Why don't every single podcast I do a section where I read the where I read the book. I could read like maybe a chapter or two or something, and then because I'm planning on this being like a long series. I kind of messed up with last week, or not last week, sorry, with yesterday and the day before where I didn't do anything. But that's because like I ran out of time and I kept like going to sleep really late, so I never like had time to record this because I want to do this late at night when I'm feeling weird. And today was pretty cool. Today was more of like an opinion piece, just me talking about my opinions and stuff. Cause I don't know, just felt like it today. Let me know in the comments if you like that or not. And yes, I'll be reading the Unwanteds books and maybe giving my thoughts like at the end of every book. It's once everybody's like finish it or whatever, I give my thoughts and be like, hey yo, this does this book suck? And maybe if we finish the series, maybe we can do the sequels, or maybe we could do another book series. Maybe hold off doing the sequels till like later or something like that. The possibilities are endless, and nobody comments on the videos, so like I don't know what people want. And apparently, according to my YouTube analytics, people only watch like 5 minutes of the last video, so who knows. But it's fun for me, so I'm gonna keep doing it because I don't really care. But yeah, for that's gonna be it for tonight. So I hope everybody had a great day, and ha and I hope everyone sleeps well, and I hope this helped you sleep well, because I didn't. I kind of messed up on the ASMR portion, but yeah, just overall, I hope you all have a great day tomorrow, and you kick the day in the face, and make sure to always eat your breakfast. Goodbye.